am making one of my favorite snacks, and it's actually an incredible alternative to potato chips, and it's kale chips. It's filled with vitamins and nutrients, and just so good for you. It also is very fibrous, so it helps with digestion, and the glucose helps to detox the system. So all in all, amazing for you, and only about 40 calories per cup. So for kale chips, what you're going to do is just take a beautiful, fresh thing of kale that you get at the grocery store. I got this actually at the farmer's market. And then you can cut it up or you can tear it. You can even use scissors and just cut, scissors that are used for produce that you're not using to cut paper, and just cut them in pieces. If you want, and a lot of people would suggest that you cut out the rib, the center area, because it's thicker than the rest of the kale leaf. I, for some reason, like it. I like that the outsides are crunchy and crisp, and then the inside just has a little bit more texture and depth. But that's just me. So you can do it either way. So you're just going to take freshly washed kale, and then a little bit of white pepper, because white pepper is another bite with benefits, and there is my oven that's ready at 400 degrees. So some white pepper, because the bites with benefits. It is a natural fat burner, and really just as much as you want. This is all to taste, so however much you want. I put probably a couple of teaspoons. I like a lot of white pepper. I like the bite of white pepper. Then some crushed red pepper, because another bite with benefits to help as a natural fat burner, and I love red pepper. And I want to make these a little bit more dynamic and spicy. You don't have to. You can put whatever you want. You can just do salt. And then I'm also going to do salt, some sea salt. Don't be afraid of salt. The body needs some salt in our diet, in your diet. And I know there's so much stress around salt right now, and the reason is because of all the processed foods. I mean, really, that's where we're getting so much of the salt. But the fact is that if you use salt correctly, which means that you put just a little bit of salt in when you're cooking, then you're actually going to bring out the amazing natural flavors of the food. So you're not going to want to eat as much food because you'll be satisfied faster. So just a couple teaspoons of olive oil, again, all to taste. And then you're just going to mix it all around. So this is nicely coated. It smells so good and spice-ish. There's the kale. Then you're just going to put it on a cookie sheet, or if you don't have one, just some aluminum foil is fine. So I'm just going to spread it on the aluminum foil. Try and do it pretty evenly. If you need to do a couple of layers, then you should do that so that they're not on top of each other, so that they can get nice and crisp on their own. Because if they're on top of each other, if the leaves are on top of each other, it's going to be really hard for them to crisp up. Then you're going to put them in the oven at 400 degrees for between 15 and 20 minutes. So you can open after 15 minutes and just see if it's nicely crisped. And then you are going to have these lovely, beautiful, crunchy kale chips that are perfect when you're sitting and snacking, if you're watching TV, if you just want something salty.